C for 2015. Question number 4, the volume created by revolution. And I'm going to draw a little diagram to get us started on this one, and you'll see why later. It makes this one much easier to tackle. It says the line L has equation y equals mx, right? So if you think back to the dark days of year 8, where you first started looking at straight line graphs, the line y equals mx, obviously it goes into the negatives as well, is going to look something like that, right? And the region R is bounded by L, the x-axis here, and the line x equals a. So here is some point A, and effectively that's where it's cut off there. Now straight away, before I even do any of this question, if this rotates around here, it's going to create a cone, and I got a feeling that might come into the question later. Right, it says use integration, find an expression for the volume generated when it's rotated, right? So the formula, as you know, is volume equals pi the integral of y squared dx, and of course in this case y equals mx, so v equals pi times the integral between a and 0, that's what it tells me the limits are, of y squared will be m squared x squared dx. So we're going to integrate that now, put it in square brackets between a and 0, bring the pi inside, obviously nothing changes on the m squared, and the x squared, raise the power and divide by the new power. So that's it integrated. When I substitute in 0, it'll just disappear. So all I need to do is swap the x for the a. So the answer for the first 3 marks is the volume is pi m squared a cubed over 3. Okay, no problem so far, easy 3 marks. Right, let's look at the second bit. It says the points with coordinates a comma b lie on L. So let's look at this point here, right? So that has coordinates a comma b. Rewrite the expression for the volume V in terms of a and b. Well, the original expression here, m is obviously representing the gradient, okay? So m is the change in y, the gradient, over the change in x. A little bit of year 8, year 9 mathematics. And going from here to here, the change in y is obviously b, and the change in x is obviously a, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to substitute my b over a for this m squared here, and watch what happens, right? So I'll get v equals pi, so m squared is now b squared a cubed over 3, and don't forget the a squared. So the b squared over the a squared there is my m squared there. Well, of course, that a squared will cancel with 2 of those there, which just leaves me with pi over 3 b squared a. Oh, gone out the shot, move it back in. Now, think of the reference I made at the start. Looking at the diagram, if I rotate that, I create a cone. And of course, the volume of a cone formula, the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Now, if you look at the 2 formulas here, I've got the third, I've got the pi, my r squared is b squared, and my h is a. So when it asks for a geometrical interpretation of your answer, they're wanting you to say it was the volume of a cone with radius b and height a. A bit tricky. I highly recommend you draw the diagram on these questions if it's an easy one to draw, so you can visualize where it's going. Magic darts.